Welcome to the Fortress Fitness Lifestyle podcast series, where we cater to you mind, body, and soul, with host Victor Francis and his special guests tackling diet, exercise, diabetes, and much more. Tune in every Saturday at 7 p.m. This podcast is brought to you in part by Burgess Grove VA Services and Abini Pro Fitness.
Good night. Welcome again to another episode of Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. And tonight we have a special guest, our first yoga instructor to ever hit our podcast. So let me bring on none other than instructor Yogi.
Hi, good
Yes,
night.
yes. Good night. I don't know if I pronounced your name correct, but I get the feeling I pronounced it a little wrong, but it's fine. Welcome to Fortress Fitness Podcast, whereby we touch on all topics surrounding health and wellness, and all different disciplines in the health niche, right? And foods and things like that, where we can encourage people for a better way of life. And I know yoga is a big thing, and I believe in Trinidad it could be a lot on the underrated. So, without further ado, um, you could introduce yourself, let us know, who you are, and let's go from there.
Well, if you get confused with my name, you can call me Ari for short. You're safe with Ari.
Ari, yes, I'm good with Ari. Thank you.
Yes. So I fell in love with yoga 15 years ago when I did my first class at a gym. I was actually into spin, and I saw this woman teaching a class. And the woman's structure was not the normal structure. She was a solid, strong woman. And when I saw her contort and twist into these postures, I was pretty amazed. And I said, I should be able to do that. And I did a class with her, and that was it for me. I never stopped. And that was the beginning of my journey. And then I started teaching 8 years ago,
Wow, that's a lot of years though.
a lot of years.
So your studio is, where do you teach from?
I teach out of a studio on Abercrombie Street, Port of Spain. The name of it is Aya Zone, and I was certified and taught by a yogi from India who actually was taught and raised in Sai Baba's ashram.
Whoa, and I've been in fitness, a very long time, fitness instructor and things like, and all of that, and a lot of other handles. But yoga is one thing I haven't, never tried. I always say, what, to round off my fitness experience, and I really want to, seriously, I've been thinking about it, but I want someone who really could, because I know it's better up here, it's a mental thing,
You
and
see, I was going to ask why haven't you tried as yet?
no reason, just I want to actually, because I think
Good.
that's the only thing I haven't done. I think I've done martial arts, a lot of things, and I involved in athletics for a long time, as a trainer as well in that. But for me personally, why I want to do the yoga, I know it has a lot to do with meditation. Apart from the poses and the stretches and the angles that I see there, I don't know if I can make some of these angles, but I'm willing to try. And I'm pretty sure before this year is on, finished, I will definitely try.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
would like to challenge you to one of my classes.
All right. I guess anytime next week. I don't mind. I'm off next week from work. I could come down there, or next weekend. Abini and I could come down and let's see. I mean, no taping. I don't want it to tape me looking dotish. All right. I have a few muscles on me, and I know yoga probably not don't really support the strong man. No.
So that is one of the myths about yoga.
Mhm.
People think it's only for the flexible, but yoga is for everybody.
Yeah.
Pregnant, child, man, woman, old, it doesn't matter. Even if you're disabled, you can do chair yoga. There's so many different diversities of it.
Well, definitely I'll be there, and I will, take a reel one time and big up your studio and put it on YouTube and on our page, right? So that's what we do. We give people the opportunity to highlight their platform based on what they're doing in health and wellness. And you mentioned just now there the myth of yoga in the sense of what people feel is about. I mean, I'm guilty of that feeling. Well, it's for the slim and the what is their ad is a lot of people who looking slim, elderly, and whatever. But I was always under the belief that people who tone and gymming and looking a little rough, maybe we can't bend up like that and we can't pose like that. But next week or whenever I take up your offer soon, I know I will see if that's true. If I really
Good.
can, you know. But let's tell people out there. Let's talk more about the yoga. What are some of the benefits that one gets out of yoga?
Well, what I'll start by saying is yoga was originated in India, maybe let's say 5,000 years ago.
Mm,
And the Sanskrit word translates into yog, which means union. So you
yeah.
want union of the mind, of the body, of the breath. So it's not just about standing and let's say, for example, you want to touch your toes, you just go into that. No, you want to do it mindfully, consciously. You want to breathe consciously. On the exhale, you go down, you go deep into it. And I will start by that, but now I will tell you the benefits. So we could go on for 2 hours about the benefits. The benefits would be increased circulation, strengthening, toning muscles, muscle building. You maintain the vitals, the bodily vitals. It reduces anxiety and stress. And especially coming out of COVID, I realized there was a spike in the number of people who actually were interested in yoga because we all were confined to a space and some people were anxious about it. So they turned to meditation and yoga. Then we have, of course, the flexibility, like yourself, you say you want to get into flexibility. But what we are talking about here is a practice which would be the postures or the asanas. And that, honestly, Victor, is the tip of the iceberg. Yoga is so much more. And there is also another myth that people believe it's a religion. It's not a religion. It's a practice. It's a discipline. You can make it as spiritual as you like, but it has nothing to do with being a Hindu. I am not a Hindu, and my classes are for everyone. So
Oh,
that's just some of the few benefits of it.
so let's say someone who suffering from anxiety, high blood pressure, which I know is stress, could be stress related as well, and those kind of lifestyle disease, and you would recommend that as well.
I would recommend it because, as I said before, it incorporates conscious breathing. And when we are anxious, and let's say we slow down and we take 3 deep breaths, what we're doing is activating the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for calming and relaxing. And that is why it is highly recommended for those who suffer from stress and anxiety disorders.
Wow. Well, the way how this world and this country are stressed out right now, everybody's stressed based on the job, based on the environment. You should have your class should be full every single day.
Every day. And even if the studio is down, because it had been down for some time, people needed it, they wanted it. But I also feel like coming out of COVID again, I will always draw reference to that because for my personal practice, I have the discipline over time, like I said, 15 years. I was so in love with it that I would practice on my own. So doing it for COVID wasn't a challenge for me. However, I think that you don't need a yoga class. We have technology, we have YouTube, we have live stream. You just need to get up every day and move. Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes every day, you just increase it. And you're into other activities, so you know this. Anything requires discipline. And that is what yoga has taught me, a lot of discipline. Getting up every morning at 6 to teach, to practice, to just find yourself in that zone.
Well, based on what you said, Ari, is that every time I have a trainer or a fitness person or anybody, even with doctors, I have a lot of people on this podcast, and what you mentioned there is so correct, and I know that as well. The problem in society is people, having that discipline to say, what, because everybody wants to start, everybody wants to change, but it's just a small few willing to add exercise or yoga or any kind of form of movement into the daily routine, as you know, because you would have heard people say, Gil, I was starting, but I was starting, but, and I know you heard it many times before and probably still continue to hear.
Many times. So I'm still waiting on people. They'll message on and call, yeah, I'm going to start next week. Still waiting. 2 years now, I'm waiting people.
Yeah, and it's sad is that I keep saying is that telling people is that you find it's rare that people really take a chance on themselves. We put so much thing in front of us, whether it's career, whether it's job, whether it's kids, whatever, and then we forget the most important factor or person in that, which is ourselves. right? And health, with health, you can achieve anything at a later age in life once your health is okay. But I think we were taught to focus on everything else. And it's a system, is a world, get education, go to school, and don't study yourself. And that's why diabetes and hypertension is so high in our country and by extension the world, right? COVID, as you mentioned, COVID there, right? When COVID came, we see what happened. A lot of people panic because I could tell you, and you know for a fact that after COVID, even when COVID is going out, I saw places like Moncton Catherine, Bamboo Cathedral, Chancellor, more people than I ever seen before because I'm a regular person go up there. So people get a little conscious in that aspect. I could say the tracks and them are a little more crowded based on how it was before for people like you and me who in the niche who will just get up anyhow to do those things. So there's a
Correct.
small fraction of people who really wake up after the COVID, but I think that they're still in the minority of the vast population.
Yes, and although I try to do bamboo teacher twice a week, but because rainy season is here, some days you can't go. So for me, I would channel that energy and that desire onto my yoga mat, which I'm sitting on, by the way, as I was telling Abeni, I'm sitting on my mat here. I'm so in tune with it that I'm sitting here in my yoga pose, talking to you about it, ironically. But it's just about discipline, and you spoke about health. It's also a form of self-love because the best thing you could do for your body is love it, nurture it. It's a form of exercise as well. The breath work, the body, the movement, the circulation, the strengthening. And when you do the class, you will see I'll have you setting. You'll be skating.
Well, before we get to the skating, the self-love is is easier said than done for most because people
Yeah,
feel self-love is unachievable. People feel self-love had to come from somebody loving you outside of yourself, and
it's
that's why
within.
it's within. Correct. And I know yoga for what I know, little that I know is a little. I know it have a lot to do with mind, right, body and soul, and it's strange. And that's why again I was really wanting to get you here is because our podcast, not only podcast, the magazine or the platform is Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Magazine and caters to mind, body, and soul. So I can't have this platform and not have a yoga person, right,
Of course.
on board. And the importance of making up your mind to start something, even to start to say, you know what, self-love. And if you love yourself, you will take care of you make an attempt to take care of your health, as you know, right?
Yeah.
And most people who always say to me, it's a course, and I pay this person every month, whether it's 3 or 500, whatever the case may be. That is just an excuse not to start because, as I told them, hey, when you go to the doctor and they give you prescription, for some reason we just find those money to pay every month, and then all of a sudden go back and go by the pharmacy, and most of the time, based on what it is, you have to take that for life or for a long period of time. So the key is to really start with a mental shift and say, you know what, today is the day that I put myself first. Yes?
Yes. If you implement a healthy lifestyle from now, you will be. It's an investment in yourself. You'll be saving all the doctor bills. We don't need doctors.
Yes. And I said to someone recently again, Ari, is that we put aside money for pension, we save money for rainy days, we do a lot of stuff, but nobody invests in themselves. Based on exactly what you said there, if you invest in yourself today, you avoid the possibility or the chances are a high possibility that you will get those things that normally comes if you don't do what you're supposed to do today. Yes?
Yeah. And it's about being proactive and preventative. Don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait for a diagnosis before you start to exercise or want to do yoga. Just make it part of your life and you'll see the difference. So many people have come to start yoga because, they have a bad knee, bad ankle, bad back. But why did we wait so long, right? Invest in yourself early, make it part of your lifestyle, your practice, and you'll reap the benefits in the end.
I think answer to that area, which you know as well, because we live in Trinidad, is that we're not proactive. We're not a proactive set of people. We like to hear the bad news and then try to see if the the fix could we want quick fix. Everybody wants to be healthy and fit, but nobody, most of those not willing to do what it takes, meaning which is the hardest thing to start, which is also the easiest thing, because they don't cost anything to shift your mind to start to take care of yourself. It's free. Shifting your mind to start is free. And as you know, strength training is recommended as you get older, right? This yoga, any kind of strength training is good. And I think for me personally, why I want to get in yoga just to do a class instead of once a week, because I kind of busy, but to just channel that mental, the mind, body, and whilst I'm fully disciplined to exercise and diet and things like that, but I really want to put yoga in part of my routine of just that kind of block off everything and just focus on whatever has been taught by the well, most likely it will be you. Yeah,
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 yes.
you know.
And
So,
the different types of yoga as well. So, for example, I teach hatha and a combination of vinyasa. So hatha, it's holding the postures for a longer period. So it requires some strength. It requires strength, balance, endurance, whereas the vinyasa, you're more flowing and moving the body with the breath, right?
mhm.
And I love to challenge people with a good hatha yoga class. However, I will say this, that people are intimidated by a yoga class because it usually runs from 45 minutes to an hour or beyond, right? And they think, oh my God, I can't do 1 hour of exercise. It doesn't have to be one yoga. You just start for 5 minutes. Even if you want to drop out of the class, after 10 minutes, you take a break and listen to your body always. Because for some reason, some of us have injuries. We have inherited injuries, and those things are inevitable. But it's about listening to your body, becoming mindful, becoming conscious. And then when you realize that you're investing in your body, you're feeling better, you're going to want to eat better, drink better, sleep better. So it's overall balance and betterment.
Yes, and what I will say, Ari, is that what I will want you to explain, you said there are different types of yoga, and the one that you teaches is more, is it is it correct to say advanced or intermediate or?
I wouldn't, well, it definitely isn't the most advanced. To me, in my personal
Mhm.
experience, the most advanced yoga for me would be Ashtanga. It requires a lot of strength, but it all depends. We have gentle restorative yoga, we have the Hatha, we have Vinyasa, Ashtanga, you have Yin yoga, and each type has a different benefit. So maybe one morning I'm not 100% and I'll say today I'm feeling for a nice slow flow. And I may just do 5 movements and I'm happy with that. But I know my blood is circulating. I know the body is going and it's something little, but it's enough.
And you mentioned chair yoga. What is that?
Well, I have had several people who are unable to stand for long periods. So we would sit on chairs and do chair yoga. So you can do a forward fold by sitting on a chair and get the same benefits as if you were standing. So
Oh,
it's about getting the same benefits out of a pose, but using the chair as a prop. So even like for example, if you're doing a spinal twist on a chair, you may be able to do a better, deeper twist than if you were doing a twist without a chair because the chair acts as a prop.
mhm.
And a lot of people are averse to maybe chair yoga or using a block or a prop, but it just helps you get deeper into the pose.
Okay, okay.
Chair
So,
yoga is doing the poses with assistance of the chair.
okay, so based on what you're saying there, if someone have an injury, for instance, I mean, doctor prescribed whatever, but if they, they have limitation based on, like, a lot of people that I know have sciatica and things like that.
Yes.
So based on the sitting whole day, driving, going to your office sitting, and there's a routine after a period of time, plus they put on some weight. So what would you recommend for those persons? Obviously, what type of yoga you recommend in your professional, opinion, for somebody who have like sciatica or some kind of, not life threatening, but you know what I mean by that.
Yeah. So so for me personally, there is a pose I would recommend for sciatica. It's called pigeon pose because it actually targets that sciatic nerve. However, you want to incorporate a practice and a flow. So you will do a sequence, right? So I would
Mhm.
say start with a gentle restorative yoga flow, or
Mhm.
maybe just doing a few deep postures, and then your body will start to heal naturally and slowly, and then you can go deeper into it. But the key is consistency.
Yes. Well, like everything, eh? People start, people stop, and they say, it's not working because they didn't give themselves time for the thing to work. Yes.
Yeah. And I
All
have
right.
many friends who have been uh, recommended to physiotherapy, and I said, no, this is yoga. Your physio is yoga.
Yes. I think because we was taught, and then when you look at it too, Ari, is that coming from a doctor will prescribe, hey, go back physio, go back physio. They tend to not, the typical medical doctors and them. They would very rarely, in my opinion, I could be wrong, send you to do yoga, you know, unless that doctor knows that side of healing and the benefits of yoga,
Yeah.
right? Someone mentioned there, someone asked a question, can you teach the different types of yoga?
I teach Hatha and Vinyasa,
That's,
but so the answer is yes, I teach Hatha and Vinyasa, but I also tailor my classes to suit the recipient's needs. So if for example you come with sciatica, I will design a routine for us specifically for you.
yeah, that's excellent actually, because you wouldn't want to have somebody who have sciatica and they put them in a class that based on, and that's great, and that's experience, in my humble view. That's experience, and that is the right thing to do.
And
And
also I recommend doing a beginner's class. So usually, well, at least in Trinidad, as far as I know, they would identify the type of class. Is it a beginner's? Is it advanced, intermediate? So I would always suggest starting with a beginner's, and then if you can gauge your competency and ability, you can always upgrade.
I like that, Ari. You know why? Because there's some classes that do aerobics. I personally don't fancy aerobics. I don't do aerobics. I don't like aerobics because the aerobics class that I know in Trinidad, most of them high impact. And if you're going to join today, you have to just go in that class as a beginner that is high impact. And that is something I'm saying from experience, I haven't seen. I'm saying it's not there, but I know aerobics class. When you go, it could be a newbie, you could be slim, short, tall, fat. And you go in there, they don't have no program outside of the what's going on in front there that is cater for individual in that group session. And from my experience, training you cannot train individual in a group session, especially for people who have limitation like sciatica and other stuff. So the mere fact that you mentioned that, I applaud you, because that's experience, and that's knowing what you do, and knowing that you can't put somebody who have a limitation in a class where in an advanced class, or you are a creator. And that's the nice thing, but what you say about yoga, because if you could tailor certain types of movement for different people based on their condition, I mean that's actually excellent. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, and I have certain clients who have certain injuries, and I would do the same for them. So, for example, there's this woman who is 65 years old. I've been doing classes with her for 5 years, and she has a bad knee and a bad shoulder, and she's improving. She will take a break at times, but she listens to her body. And she used to take injections when she started. Now she's not on injections anymore because she's consistent.
I mean, what I read about yoga years ago, because I read up and follow different disciplines in the sports health field, and I know it's strong, very strong in you see the mind. Yoga happen to connect the mind to your body. That's one discipline that connect the mind. Once you achieve what it's supposed to achieve and give yourself the time, the mind, body, and soul. I think that's a. I mean, you can't want a better combination than that.
Correct. And that's why I said it translates into yoke. So you're yoking, merging mind, body, breath, soul, everything in one. So you're on your mat and you're concentrating, you're trying to still the fluctuations of the mind. So in order, let's say for example, you want to do a balancing pose. you need to concentrate for that. You need to focus on breath, on mind, to stay in that position. So therefore, it takes away from your whatever was on your mind before. And then what I try to do personally, and I urge people to do it, is practice what you're doing on your mat, off your mat. So, for example, somebody bad driving in traffic, don't cut them. Take 3 deep breaths. It might be hard. It might be hard, but you can be more mindful. So that is what I mean by translating from the mat to off the mat into your daily lives.
And that's excellent, Ari. That's excellent. And those are the kind of information that I think people need to know, because even when you go on social media, and I'm always on social media because I be posting a lot based on the platform and things like that. And locally, I could say, you see a lot of trainers from gym, maybe one or two aerobics trainers and something like that. But it's very rare you see ads specific to yoga in Trinidad. I'll be honest. I may glimpse one. I think I saw about two, if so much, on Instagram locally. It doesn't seem to have much, or if it have, they don't advertise as much as the other disciplines.
What I noticed from 15 years ago is that we do have classes more than before, and especially coming out of COVID, because a lot of people decided, okay, I'm going to become a yoga instructor, and they did an online certification course, and they're now a teacher. You have more people who decided to do online yoga because we were all confined to our homes. So I would say there was an increase in yoga classes and yoga being offered, but it's still not where we need it to be. If you go to India or to Thailand now, every corner is a yoga studio. We don't have that there yet, and I wish it would be like that, where you could just drop in and do a session.
Yes, and I saw, I think, last year or so, I think it's Thailand self, classes all out in the field. It look nice though, all out in a
Yeah.
park, and it's open, and the green, and it looks so relaxing. And I mean, it always looked to me whenever I scroll and I come across a yoga class, it always not, well, I would use the word hostile compared to aerobics, but it's always, calm, it get the jobs done. I know for a fact, right? When I do research on yoga, is there's no negative based on what I've heard. It just as the right place you say is that, and it's a cultural thing because in Trinidad, I think everybody feel about his gym and his aerobics and this and that, and so that's the way. But I mean, I don't support one way to get healthy and fit. I support all the different discipline. Once you could get up in the morning and find whether it's aerobics, whether it's yoga, what it all depends on what you're looking for as a person. Find that trainer or that discipline. That's what I think.
Yes, and we can. I have done yoga on the boardwalk, yoga in the botanics. We have so many lovely places to do yoga on this beautiful twin island that we take for granted.
Yes.
And it's appropriate that we're having this segment now because International Day of Yoga is next week, Friday, the 21st, and it will be the 10th year of recognition of yoga worldwide. And that's an amazing thing because we never had a yoga day. So now we have a yoga day. And I believe there is a session at Queen's Park. I don't have the details in front of me, but you can look out for it. Google it, search it, and give it a try. And it's lovely to practice with all the yogis of Trinidad and Tobago because then you'll see the numbers come out in our numbers on that day.
Yes. Well, I'll look out for that ad and go down. I probably won't be doing yoga on that day because I know I will look dotish. Um, I will practice. I will come by you first, and then based on that, I will
Based on
determine. I'll determine. I can be Mr. Fortress and go down there with my branded T-shirt and looking dotish. I ain't doing that. So I will go down there, probably get content to help promote yoga on my platform, which I will do. And even with you and your handles and all your flyers, you could always pass it through. We put it up on our page, all right, our platform page, and everybody who comes on the platform, everybody who come on the podcast, we always ask them and we'd like for them to put an article on the magazine where they get it reach all of the Caribbean, and
yeah.
also a flyer or article on our page, so we help promote you. And if you have any event, you can always send a flyer us, and we will promote it, we'll support it. I'll come down there myself, take on some pics, and put it up and help, help boost the thing. Because that's what it's about. We have to help each other because we all trying to get more people healthy, right, and fit. Because COVID was the biggest lesson for those for the world, right? It was the biggest lesson for those who feel that exercising or walking was taken for granted because believe it or not, it take advantage of the weak and the unhealthy and the unfit. That's what it did. Right?
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. And then also during COVID, we all spent a lot of time on our phones, and that does a lot of damage to our eyes, to our fingers from texting, and then the neck because your head is tilted down, and when the head is tilted down, it adds more weight. It's maybe like 50 pounds, whereas it's less when it's vertical. So you do your neck rolls, you do your wrist exercises to prevent carpal tunnel, text neck as they call it. So, like I said, I can go on for hours about the benefits of yoga. It's not just tight core, arms, abs. It's so much more. You can even do yoga for your eyes, eye exercises for varicose veins. For there's prenatal yoga. You know everything. It covers everybody.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because right now I seen a question someone asked, uh, can someone over 65 lose weight doing yoga?
Of course, anybody at any age can lose weight, but yoga won't help lose the weight. It's a combination of yoga, of exercise, of movement, of diet. As you would know, and I think you could even answer that question as
Yeah,
well.
well, I had to throw it, to put yoga in it, so I had to throw it on you.
Yes. And there is no limit, no age limit. I've had someone who was 83 do my class. She's a nurse. And then I had someone who was 80 and she was doing yoga for maybe 3 years.
Yes, well, when I look at articles and videos away, there's a lot of mature people I see doing yoga and doing it quite well, actually, with the control and things like that. And you mentioned something earlier on, not too long ago, about the I think it's vertical veins and those things like that.
Those veins, yeah.
Right.
Because
So
we spend so many hours on our feet. The blood is just flowing down. We need to, I can't do it now, but we can lay on our back and just raise the legs and let the blood flow in a reverse direction. And they call that pose the youthful pose. They say it reverses aging because
yeah,
you get the blood flowing to the face, the head, the eyes. And I believe that was at one point that was one of the number one recommended pose because it helps with the circulation of the heart, everything.
well, when I come down by you, make sure I do that one first,
Of course.
right? And I think again, the information that you've given there, I think most people, including myself, don't know. And usually we just have like a symposium, healthy and symposium, Fortress Fitness. We had one about 2 months ago where we have a symposium. People come and ask questions to people like, well, we have a doctor, we have nutritionists, we have health vendors, and people come and ask questions. And whenever we have the next one, it's supposed to be this month or next month. I'm not sure, but you will know. I would like to have you come as a guest, whereby you will answer question and give your let us answer question. Give just what you're saying to me, because a lot of people that I know of, even co-workers, suffer with circulation, right?
Sure.
That's a big thing, and a lot of people as well. Although I'm a gymmer, and I'm an advocate for health and wellness, I'm not an advocate for gym. All groups of people like different things, and also you mentioned something about the phone. Well, the phone killing us in the world, and you're correct. Everybody has always down. So you mentioned something there. You have something whereby you can, help with your neck, you know, um, whatever you do. But that by itself, I think we all should be doing yoga for that because everybody has been down, whether any computer, any job, any phone, it, you know, your neck seem to be taking a lot of
Yeah. And
stress.
we lead a very sedentary lifestyle. We're sleeping, we get up, we sit in the car, we drive, we sit behind a desk, seated all day on our phones. And that's why they've begun to incorporate yoga in schools for kids to help them increase their concentration, their meditation, start from young. And then I have done a few sessions, corporate yoga in the office, because you need to reset and rejuvenate. It's not just about eating a heavy lunch and then going back to work. sit at your desk, at your chair, like the chair yoga, do a couple neck rolls. You're on your computer typing, so you stop and you just give the wrist a shake, clench, unclench. You can even stand, touch your toes, or stretch on your desk. So I've done several of those sessions to help people because you'll get better production and productivity out of your employees if everybody can stop and take a 15-minute break. And in some countries, they allow that.
Well, I've been contacted, I think, with two companies, corporate, and what you're saying is true. It's just sad that in Trinidad, most of the corporate, like they doesn't Google or do research, because what they say is so true. A healthier employee, you get more productivities from them. And I mean, I know of at least about 3 or 4 companies in Trinidad, big ones, that have gyms, and they have certain days of aerobics, something like that. I'm not sure about the yoga, but I mean, I will always be an advocate for yoga based on what you say in there, and based on little 1 to 2% I know, because you can do something even if you have an area for a gym in a corporate company or a big space, based on what you mentioned, the chair or a small space, because yoga, I'm pretty sure you can operate in confined spaces as well.
Yes. The sessions that I have done, the corporate sessions, I tailored it so that you can actually do yoga at your desk on your chair.
Serious?
Yeah.
Yes, and if that's the only way we could get to the people who claim they don't have time from work, is home and family and kids and homework and all of that, I think, and I've been trying to even get corporate to include what kind of session, health and wellness, at least 2 days a week, because and yoga is something I will always, you know ask as well when I doing my thing, right? Obviously, I will let you know, obviously, and get you in whatever you're charging, because there's a lot of people. No matter what you and I tell them about exercise, they structure their life a particular way. When they leave work and they jump in the vehicle, is until they reach home, they're not stopping. And when they reach home and they get out and they reach in their house, there's a lot of things that they claim with a fee that is more important than taking 15 minutes, for
Because
instance.
I believe we lead a life where we're on autopilot. And that's fine, but you need to incorporate some form of self-care in that autopilot.
Yes, and that is easier said than done, and to convince this present um, population. And I think it's not just in Trinidad, because it's a worldwide thing, because it's only about 5% of us, or the people, that probably make an effort, whether it's chancellor, whether it's 2 days a week, whether it's gym, whether it's cycling. The majority of us, as I was telling someone the other day, the cycle continues where from Sunday we eat a heavy meal, 3, 4 starch on a plate, and when we go to bed, but that we meaning me, because I don't do that, but the majority, and you go to bed, sleep, you get up, you jump in your vehicle, you eat, something heavy in the morning, you sit down in your vehicle, you go in the office, you sit down again, you buy lunch, you sit down by a desk and eat, most people. And after that, you go jump to your car in the evening, sit down again, and then you reach home, sit down again, and eat something. And then that cycle for 30 and 20 years, one thing that is breed when you reach 50 and over is lifestyle disease. And
Yeah.
that's what it breeds, because after anything that you're doing for a long period of time, once you said, and you're correct, if you do a little bit today, it puts you in a better position tomorrow. But that's a little good thing. But if you do a lot of bad things today, or a little bad thing today, and after a period of time, you're gonna get the result that most people get in, which is lifestyle diseases, which the name speaks for itself. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
so
agree.
yeah. So I had a doctor came, and I think she's do some work for the Diabetes Association, and I think the ratio right now in Trinidad is over 60% of the population is diagnosed with diabetes, right? Is that, and that's like, I mean, 1.56 people. That's a lot of people, right? And
Yeah.
that's who checking the self. There's those who don't check the self until something who them to the extreme, right? But I would like to see yoga being more on the front burner in Trinidad, because when, like, from November, let's say from September, October to Carnival, the only thing is be seeing is burnout here, burnout there, aerobics jump up here, jump up there. It'll be nice for to at least the yoga community to come forward. That's just a suggestion to me, and say, hey, let's have a movement of let people educate people. I think people lacking the proper education where yoga can so in Trinidad.
I agree because it's misconstrued as only for the flexible. I have so many people who say, I'm not flexible, I can't start yoga. I say, start. If you can't touch your toes, for example, and you want to touch your toes, start, practice, and within a month or two, depending on how consistent you are, you will get there. So people need to stop thinking yoga is only for the flexible and the small and the petite. It's for everyone.
Yes. If I go forward, someone asked if you do online classes.
No, I don't do online classes because I believe in that interaction. Because I like to see my students is sharing the energy. Also, I like for them to see me to adjust as needed. I prefer that. So I know a lot of people offer online yoga, but I personally don't. For that reason, I like to interact with my class.
Yes, use one of them want to say, no, do it like this and do the demonstration yourself. And that's
I want to
and
see you hold that pose for 10 breaths.
no cutting the video and clip it and say I did hold it for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Pause, yeah.
Yeah. But I was saying, Ari, is that I really would like to see more yoga in the front burner, even in gyms. I find, I mean, I'm familiar with most of the gyms, if not all, in East West Corridor, and one or two in South, and and one or two owners as well. And it's strange though, nobody offer yoga as part of an option in gym. You'll see spin classes, you will see aerobics classes, and you don't see and yoga around in Trinidad a while and doing good based on what I know. And why it is, it's strange though.
So in my experience, I have taught yoga at a couple gyms, but you will see the schedule and there's spin, aerobics, everything, but just one little section for yoga. One class, one class. At a great bedtime inconvenient to all.
Oh, right. They put yoga down just in case they have a lecture or lap,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think what causing that is a misconception of what the thing yoga is about. I think that's what it is. Because as again, I myself, you know, not knowing the full benefits of what it can do. I mean, in the early days, or even before, it's like, can yoga really get you, stronger in the sense of muscle, not mass, but get you stronger? I mean, and I
Yeah.
would have said before, no, but no. What would you say about that?
I am the strongest I've ever been in my life, and I'm not in a gym. Granted that I do uphill a couple times a week and I cycle and I love spin as well, but it's all because of yoga, because you're using your body strength,
Yes, yeah,
using that muscle. And I've
and
seen progress better than, for me personally, better than in any gym or doing any other form of exercise.
well, what I would say with that statement is that, and leans to what you say, and I'll be honest with you, and I'll challenge. I mean, any gymmer know me could tell you this, because even when I'm working out, I do calisthenics with my weight training, because I do push-ups, dips. I mix it because what I've seen in Trinidad, I only could talk in Trinidad, a lot of big body men, gymmers, cannot even tote their own body weight. They can
Correct.
lift probably 300 pounds, but they cannot do 10 push-ups.
Yeah.
They cannot do 5 dips or pull-ups. I've seen that. So it goes to show me that if you can lift all this iron and you can't lift your own body weight, if you fall, you're gonna damage yourself really bad because you can't brace yourself to keep yourself in
Correct.
action. So that's why years ago I started to mix my weight training with, some days I go and do a little walking or well, more running than anything else, jogging between. Not much. I might go along Savannah, I might go around West, Queens Park, or do a transfer sometimes. But I mix it because gym don't get you healthy. And as I say it, people, no, you go to the gym, you can go to the gym and it can be very much unhealthy because you made it a part of the routine, which is good, but there's other things like not just gymming, as you rightfully know, right? Because you'll
Yeah.
see two people going to the gym one getting benefit, one is healthy, one looking good, and the next one with the same amount of time they're going to the gym, they're not looking good. And I'm talking about muscle, I'm talking about the overall wellness and that well-being, because the eating crap, as you rightfully said, is not just coming to yoga and doing all the wrong things, not getting the result, and blaming the instructor and saying, well, I did 6 months, I get a result. Not saying, and it's got this a lot in Trinidad, not saying if you give them a diet sheet or a sheet of how to eat, they don't follow it. They probably follow for
Yeah.
Carnival, just probably for February for what, 2 weeks, right? And then they go and blame and tongue lash the trainer, not saying the truth that they didn't follow the plan or the meal plan that that instructor would have given them.
Right. And that's why I said yoga it makes you more mindful. So you're more conscious. So then you're going to eat more mindfully. So you won't go for that fried chicken. You would say, no, I'm working on myself. So let's eat some kale. It doesn't have to be boring. As you know, you could make your food as tasty as you want it to be. And we all have our cheat days, but
Yes.
it's about eating mindfully, doing everything mindfully. And that's why I am an advocate for yoga, because it's not just postures, movement overall.
Yeah, well, yoga, and I'm glad you're saying that because, going back to this, where again, in this culture that we have in Trinidad, education is the problem because knowledge, the way people just run for the crash result for Carnival in gyms and in aerobics classes. Just for 2 months, I'm pretty sure they don't run to you in that graph of numbers as they do to this other discipline that they don't get the result. And I can say it, nobody can come in January and get no kind of significant result for February or March. It don't work so.
Right.
They'll just be wasting their money. I know that. And I say it on this platform because there's no trainer can tell me anybody come for a month or 2 months and they getting no great result whereby they transform their body. No, it doesn't work so. Their fitness level could go up a little bit based on for those who want to jump up all over the place. But there's no significant improvement. The man and woman that is still looking a particular way, they look that way right through the year
Correct.
because it's a lifestyle for them. It's not 2 week packing in a month.
It's not about fitting into a costume, and we all have our reservations about it. I mean, I love Carnival, but I have my view about it. My view is that it's a good thing we have Carnival because that's the only reason why some people in the gym.
Yes, yes. You know, you're correct. And not just gym, the trails that you and I talk about, the Bamboo Cathedral and other places, come January. Yeah,
You
you
can't
ain't
get
getting
too
packing.
breezy here.
Yeah, you had it, you're bouncing people like you're spending Juve on the hill, right?
I was
But
there Tuesday. I probably saw three people. Where are you all? Where are you all? But I'll see you all in December.
December, you will see
Well, not
the
December because they will be eating ham. I'll see
no
them in January.
January. That's it. January. They just come out in numbers. I I just kind of dread January and February because the gym is moved from what even if it's 40 on an evening to like 140, and it's like you had to like ask, you finish this machine, and you and I know they're just there for just it's a mind thing. The same way they believe in 2 months they get results. If they could change the mindset in February or March or April and say, you know what, I believe if I start in March or August at least, and I go
Yeah.
to February, I should get a significant amount of improvement or results for that period of time. And in your experience doing yoga so long, what is percentage male versus female in your classes?
Well, it's funny that you say that because the theme for yoga day next week is woman empowerment.
Yeah.
And if you look at the history of yoga, men were the face of yoga from India, and women weren't really allowed to practice, And I believe it was 1918 they started to introduce women into yoga. And a male yogi taught me, and I love seeing all the female yoginis that we have out here in the world. In my class, there are times where I have more males than females.
Where?
Yes.
Wow. I personally don't know any male yoga instructor in Trinidad. I don't know of any. I've never
No,
seen none.
I know of a few.
No, well, you would know, but I'm saying like me, who's not in that field or around people like
Yeah.
yourself. You will see female gym instructors, yoga, aerobics instructors, and all of that. But I've never seen a male advertising in Trinidad. Like on only talking based on social media. I'm not saying
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah. You
think
have to search for them.
I think men Trinidad men, they have this ego thing whereby they might have seen out there men wearing some tights and doing yoga, and Trini men, most of them, so what is the I know it's that gym attire. What is it? Is this the same for yoga?
I would say wear comfortable clothing. So if you go with tradition in India, they probably used to wear their loincloth, their dhoti and their sari, and
Mm.
they still do. But for me, if I am executing and demonstrating a posture, I need to wear fit clothes for you to see.
Yes.
And it's about comfort. You're gonna be stretching, you're gonna be flexing, you're gonna be sweating. So for me, I wouldn't want to practice in a big t-shirt that will suffocate me if I'm in a down dog. I can't breathe, I
Yeah.
have to continuously adjust. So it
Yes.
would be similar. It's up to you. It's about comfort, however you feel. If you wanna cover yourself, if you want to expose, I mean there are all types. But
But
general gym attire, you can wear shorts for guys, you can wear leggings if you want to.
okay. But
Yeah, you do it bare feet, you want to get your balance on your mat.
okay. So it's bare feet.
Bare feet, yep.
All right. Well, look at that. I would have come in there.
And on your mat, you need your mat.
So all right. So I don't walk with my mat when I come down by you, right?
Yes, yes, especially coming out of COVID, you want to make sure you have your own personal space, personal hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Before we used to provide mats, but not anymore.
no, no, no. I mean that's understood. So I mean,
Yeah.
but let me ask this, right? What is you like? What is the duration of your length of like your class? An hour, 45 minutes. What is it?
My class will go for 1 hour, sometimes 45 minutes. So if it's in a gym, I'll do 45 minutes. But at the studio, 1 hour. And my personal practice can go for 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours, because I just love it so much. Also, if you want to go beyond an hour and you have the endurance, let's go. So you can, and then the other thing too, like I said, you can start with 5 minutes, then 10, 15, 20. So I have people sometimes they say I can't make. I say, okay, we'll just do a half an hour session. So it
Oh,
varies.
yes.
But it will start with some slow movements and some warming up, and then we go into the actual sequence, and then we'll always end with your breathing and meditation.
And that is
So
what
it's
I
not just physical for me. I always try to capture all those things: asanas, postures, breathing, meditation, stillness. It's about stilling the mind. We have thousands of thoughts each day. We need to slow down a bit.
yes, and that's the part of it I really, really want to capture the calm, the breathing, the calming part of it because I know
So for my personal experience, I went into it because I wanted to explore how flexible I was and how supple I was.
yeah.
But I would tell anybody, you start and then you will reap the benefits of it after you get into it. So maybe 2 years into my practice, I realized, wow, my whole mindset has changed. I'm less angry, I'm less anxious. I hated public speaking. I had no choice but to talk to a class of people when I was put on the spot. And then when we had with Tash and I, when we had Fitness Plus on CNC, I had no choice again. So I was able to overcome all of these challenges because it also helps to boost confidence as one of the benefits of it.
Well, right. So Abini is saying there, our first session with you was awesome, but brutal, but awesome. I don't know. Before she said that, based on what you were saying there, I was going to say that you look like you is one of those drill sergeant. I get that feeling. There's no one. It take one to know one. Eh? I get
I could be a little militant, but you know what? So when I started doing yoga, I would look across to see who's doing what and who's better. Now I don't care. It's a practice. It's like a family. Let's do it together. If you can ace a pose, I'm happy for you. That's your journey. I'm on my journey. So again, it's helped me to just lose all of that.
Well,
But she's right. But she's right and you're right. Yeah, because you wanna be doing something, give it 100.
I agree 100%. And anybody who rolling with Tash is a drill sergeant too. So,
She's
I,
another drill sergeant.
yeah, so both of us fella. So once you say you want Tash, I know, well, hey, you,
Yeah.
yes, you're a drill sergeant. But I have no thing with that because, I believe if you come to do something, especially for yourself, put in 100%. That's what I believe. But we need to get back. You know, you said it was on CNC3. I know that was a while back with Tash and all of that, but I think it's good to get back a program if you can, on if not TV, but have some running on social media because there's a lot of people. I could tell you this because when I did different podcasts, people call in and don't really want to go outside. They want everything home. They
Yeah.
want the thing home. So if they can log on, instead of they had to pay and log on or every whatever day they could see a program, yes, because come out of COVID, a lot of people still believe that they don't want to go out there and mingle and set up
All
people.
right.
So that's why I guess this person was asking about online because most trainers that I know, not yoga, they do online plus the physical because apart from the money, some people just don't want to go out and mingle with other people, and they either get you can come home. You don't do home visit at all.
I do. I have a couple of clients who prefer the comfort of their home for that same reason. They don't want to be around people because they can be intimidated by it. Because
Yeah,
like I said, it's not about yoga. When you look at yoga, if you Google yoga and you go on social media especially, you look at so many people and you see all these fancy postures, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and it might be a trend and an image. So it can be intimidating for some people. So that's why I do offer private sessions as well for people who would like to do it in the comfort of their homes.
all right. And every time I bring somebody who's very interested on this podcast, and I watch, and I'm having fun, and I watch and see the time running away with me, and it's just an hour, and I see like we only have about 2 or 3 minutes there again.
But I told you we can talk about yoga all night. I started off telling you that.
Yeah, but don't worry, I'll have you back whenever you have time again. But before we even look to wrap up there, because I see it's 2 minutes, and I want to cut me out before time. Just let let people know where to find you, your handles, your number. Give me the full works.
Yeah. You all can contact me at 714-7555, WhatsApp or call. And you can find me on Instagram at arayoga_yogini. And you can find us at the yoga studio. So when you contact me at that number, I will send you a brochure for the details for the studio downtown Abercrombie Street.
All right, all right. So that's people. So tune in. Your boy Vic here, fit itself going down and do some yoga. I go with my jersey. I go with my camera. So my tripod. So when I
And
say
you're tight.
about, I'm a
And you're tight.
my tights.
Yes, you're tight.
Well, yeah, I would decide if I wear a short pants or I wear a joggers or something. I know
Yes.
what the tights. I know what the tights. It will be a joggers or a short pants.
No judgment. No judgment. It's a judgment-free space.
Yeah, I come in. I feel I will do the. I feel I will do the joggers because I know you're gonna beat me up, and then you go tell Tash, and Tash go call me and say, Vic, I hear Harry, red had you go in there, boy, and yeah, I'll get some blows. So,
Yes.
but we are. I will let Beanie call you and we'll come down sometime. We'll tell you in advance, and we'll come and do a nice little session with you. And
Yes.
obviously I will tape it because I had to put up and let people see how you know
Us.
how Dodisha looking. But it'll be my first yoga. That's what makes you special because I mean more special because you'll be my you know person who teaching me. I usually be the opposite end whereby
Good.
I teaching somebody something when coming to the fitness.
You're on the other side of the fence this
Yeah,
time.
yeah, training this time. A green bee, doing my thing. So Ari, I just want to say I see time running out on us. It ran out actually. I just want to say thanks. I've been trying to get you a while now, and
Yes.
thanks for making the time. And I mean, I'm glad you come on because knowing that, hey, you're part of the circle with Tash. Any friend of Tash is a friend of mine. All right.
Yes.
And then Abini, you only had a history. So it's a good family. Anybody, I will always promote your yoga on the page. List with Abini to send any flyer, anything you have in, and she put it up on our page. We'll help promote it for you. And the article, we will put it in the magazine. You will get a link when it comes out. And you can always
And thank you for having me, and thank you for this space to share and spread the word of yoga.
All right. So thanks, Ari. Have a blessed night. May God bless. And we will see you again soon. Down in your studio. Have a blessed night.
Yes. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Special thanks to our partners Virtuscope VA Services and Abini Pro Fitness. And don't forget to get issue 2 of the Fortress Fitness Lifestyle magazine available now.